How to remember everything like the Japanese students study less for real. Most students believe that the secret to academic success lies in working harder, studying longer hours, reviewing notes over and over, and burning the midnight oil. But what if everything we've been told about studying is wrong? What if the key to remembering more isn't about grinding longer, but thinking smarter? The truth is this. Most of us forget about 70% of what we study within a single day. It's not a reflection of your intelligence or effort. It's simply how the human brain works. The brain is a filtering machine. If it thinks something isn't essential, it dumps it. And most of the traditional study techniques we use, rereading, highlighting, cramming, give the brain every reason to throw that information away. Meanwhile, Japanese students are memorizing thousands of complex kanji characters, each with multiple readings and subtle differences, and they're not studying 12 hours a day to make it happen. They're using methods that work with the brain, not against it. This article will explore 5 proven techniques that explain how Japanese students retain more, stress less, and build deep, lasting memory. And more importantly, how you can use them to transform the way you study. Starting today, why traditional studying doesn't work. Let's start with the habits that feel productive but actually sabotage your learning. Rereading your textbook, highlighting random sentences, copying notes word for word. All of those are passive forms of input. When you consume information passively, your brain doesn't have to work to understand or remember it. There's no challenge, no need for the brain to build new connections. You're essentially reading with your brain on autopilot. It's the same effect as seeing the same commercial 50 times on YouTube. You might recognize it, but you probably can't recall the details. That's because familiarity isn't the same as understanding. If you want to retain what you learn, you need to shift from passive input to active retrieval. And that's where the techniques used by Japanese students come in. Technique number 1, active recall, the samurai method. Active recall is the practice of pulling information from memory without looking at the source. It's hard, it feels frustrating, and that's exactly why it works. Instead of reading your notes for the 10th time, close your book and try to write down everything you remember on a blank sheet of paper. Then check your notes, see what you missed, and try again. This forces your brain to struggle a bit, and that struggle is what builds strong memory. Every time you attempt to recall something, even if you fail, your brain is reinforcing those neural pathways. You're telling your brain, this is worth remembering. Over time, your memory improves not through repetition, but through deliberate effort. Japanese students use this approach constantly. Whether it's recalling kanji or practicing grammar, they test themselves often, because they know real learning happens during retrieval, not review. Technique number 2, the KUMAN method. Small wins, big gains. In Japan, many students grow up using the Kumon learning system, which is built on one simple idea: make learning easy to start and hard to quit. Instead of overwhelming students with big tasks, the Kumon method breaks everything into bite-sized chunks. Short worksheets, 5-minute reviews, and slow, consistent progress. The goal isn't to race to the finish line, it's to build learning into a daily rhythm. This mirrors the philosophy behind Atomic Habits by James Clear. Small improvements made consistently compound into massive progress over time. If you want to remember more, don't wait for a big study day. Do less, more often. Review flashcards on the bus. Test yourself for 5 minutes before bed. Consistency always beats intensity. Technique number 3, spaced repetition. Timing is everything. Another powerful technique widely used in Japanese education is spaced repetition. It's based on a simple but overlooked fact. You don't need to review something 10 times in one sitting. You need to review it just before you forget it. Spaced repetition is like watering a plant. If you water it too often, it drowns. If you wait too long, it withers. But if you get the timing right, it thrives. A basic spaced repetition schedule might look like this. Day 1, learn the material. Day 2, first review. Day 4, second review. Day 7, third review. Day 14, final review. Each time you recall the material, your brain strengthens its connection to it. Eventually, that information becomes part of your long-term memory, with far less time and effort than cramming. Apps like Anki and Quizlet use spaced repetition algorithms to automate this process, and many Japanese students use similar tools to reinforce memory in subjects ranging from science to language learning. Technique number 4, KAIZEN, the 6-minute method. KAIZEN is a core philosophy in Japanese culture that means continuous improvement. It's the idea that slow, steady progress beats dramatic bursts of effort. When it comes to studying, KAIZEN means making your habits so small and easy that they're impossible to skip. Even 6 minutes a day can make a difference if it's done consistently. Here's a simple 6-minute daily study routine inspired by Japanese habits. 2 minutes of active recall, test yourself on a topic. 2 minutes of spaced repetition, review previously learned material. 2 minutes of focused practice, solve one real-world problem or apply the concept. This approach makes studying feel manageable, and over time it adds up to hundreds of hours of deep, effective learning. Technique number 5, SU, the power of ritual and focus. One of the most overlooked study techniques is focus, not just sitting at a desk. but actually engaging your brain fully in the task at hand. Japanese students often create rituals that signal it's time to focus. Lighting a specific candle, using a particular pen, studying at the same table at the same time, every day. These cues condition the brain to enter a state of flow quickly and effortlessly. This method is sometimes referred to as SUE. Study until engaged. You don't wait until you feel like studying. You start and the focus follows. You can create your own version of this. Keep your phone out of sight, use noise-canceling headphones, have a study-only playlist or scent. The goal is to make studying a routine, not a battle. Once your brain links your environment with concentration, your productivity skyrockets. Conclusion: you don't need to study more, just smarter. Let's clear something up. Mastering your memory and becoming a high-performing student has nothing to do with being naturally gifted, pulling all-nighters, or pushing yourself until you burn out. The truth? You don't need to study for 8 hours a day. You don't need perfect concentration. You don't even need superhuman willpower or motivation. What you need are smart systems, strategies that actually align with how the brain works. And once you understand and apply those systems, studying becomes faster, easier, and way more effective. Here are 4 of the most powerful systems we explored, the same ones Japanese students use to memorize thousands of characters and concepts with less stress and more retention. 1. Active recall. Train your brain through challenge, not comfort. Forget rereading your notes or highlighting sentences endlessly. Those methods feel productive but don't help your brain retain. Active recall flips the process. Instead of feeding your brain information, it forces you to retrieve it. That retrieval process strengthens your memory like a workout strengthens your muscles. Want to retain more in less time? Test yourself, cover your notes, use flashcards, teach the concept to someone else. If it feels slightly uncomfortable, you're doing it right. 2. Spaced repetition. Review at the right time, not all the time. The timing of your review matters just as much as the content. Spaced repetition takes advantage of the brain's forgetting curve. By reviewing material right before you're about to forget it, you lock it into your long-term memory far more effectively than cramming. This method isn't just efficient, it's scalable. In just a few minutes a day, you can maintain hundreds of pieces of information with almost no stress. Tools like Anki automate this process, but even a simple calendar or review schedule can get you started. 3. KAIZEN. Daily progress, even if it's just 1%. The Japanese philosophy of Kaizen teaches that small, consistent steps lead to massive transformation over time. You don't have to go from zero to hero in one day. You just need to show up every day and improve just a little bit. Even 6 focused minutes of studying can build momentum. Even one flashcard review session can move you forward. The key is consistency. Progress happens when you shift from "I'll study when I have time" to "I study every day, no matter what." 4. SUE. Study until engaged. Train your focus like a muscle. We often wait until we feel motivated to study, but Japanese students use environment, routine, and ritual to trigger motivation automatically. Lighting a candle, sitting at the same desk, using a specific playlist. These rituals teach the brain, it's time to focus now. Instead of relying on motivation, they rely on systems. Over time, your brain learns to enter study mode on cue. No force required. You're not lazy. You've just been using the wrong tools. If studying has always felt like a grind, it's not because you're lazy or unfocused. It's likely because no one ever showed you how to do it the right way. The good news? You can change that starting today. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to revamp your entire routine overnight. Just pick one technique, active recall, spaced repetition, Kaizen, or SUE, and build it into your day. Keep it simple, keep it sustainable, keep showing up. Soon enough, you'll find yourself remembering more in less time, with less stress. Studying will feel less like a chore and more like progress. And the best part? You'll realize you've been capable all along, but you just needed a smarter system. Because at the end of the day, real learning isn't about doing more. It's about doing what works. According to statistics, 90% of those who watched up to this point are not subscribers. Please subscribe. It costs you nothing, and for me as a newbie, it is useful for promoting the channel. And I am also pleased that I am useful to you with my knowledge expressed in my videos. Thank you.